Welcome to Rangers Radio on the Matchday show, the world's one and only unique live phone-in show for Rangers supporters all over the world. Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Hello, good evening and welcome back to Rangers Radio. Sturm Graz 2, Rangers 1, and an encouraging, disappointing night in Austria. Doesn't make sense, that statement, but that's how I felt. Good, bad and ugly, the Rangers Russell Martin era over that 90 minutes. Join myself back in the show's GB. All right, GB boy?
Aye, Ox, aye. Welcome back, mate. You go for the highs of the pre-match with all the optimism under the sun, and then you come into the kind of the same movie. In fact, I'm not gutted. I'm disappointed, Ox, that it's turned out the way it turned out tonight again. Because
I thought they were an average side, mate, and they actually ran out of gas a bit. They had a couple of opportunities in the second half breaking away. We controlled it. But our decision making's poor. With very little creativity for midfield. Raskin works hard. He grew into the game, but still he's passing. Connor Barron, Asgard, how he stayed on for as long. I could go on and on and on. But ultimately, GB, the defensive mistakes at the start of the game put us 2-0 down. It's just criminal, mate. And I'll need to watch it back to really look at it, but I think the defence is set up by the coaching staff has contributed, along with bad play, to cost us 2 goals, mate. Again.
Mm-hmm. Aye, I agree. Even though Fox was saying there that like the players are really hanging them out to dry at times as well, Fox, and the tactics. It says that high line, McCoy's picked up on it. The one where Stankovic is just stoning. I mean, that's their captain, just stoning in our box with no tearing about him with all the time in the world to make a pass for a shot and goal. And then can we actually give Jack Butland the player of the season the new, mate? Because that guy, the news, is basically keeping Russell Martin in a job, I think, because the amount of chances that they had and Big Butland came up with him, and he was just unlucky actually with the second goal, that it just kind of went under him. But
unsighted by the first. Listen, we'll discuss the first goal. We started the game okay. I reckon it was their first time up the park, and we've got a throw in about 20 yards from our own goal. Tavernier puts it inside to the big fella. What he's doing, why doesn't he get down the line? I don't understand. If you watch it back, GB, where 2 midfielders are standing right next to Tavernier, they're not thinking about if you lose the ball or who's covering who. Yeah? Suitors are way back down. So if they get the ball, they can go right through and goal. He's playing a lot of them on side if they push up. If you lose the ball, there's then a massive gap between the 2 centre-halves. So they win the ball and they put the ball into that space. And the guy's left free running through and goal. Cuts inside and the ball ends up in the back of the net. Shocking setup. Shocking trophy to Champion, shocking by Chimitri. Shocking by the midfield. Shocking by the centre-halves. And then Big Butland, he gets unsighted and it sort of just comes off his thigh and goes in the goal. Whether he should have saved it's up for debate, but it's hard to blame him this season at times. So everything's wrong there, collectively by the players, but the setup by the management team and how they want to set up, there's no defensive shape. It's poor, mate. And we've got a bad head coach, bad coaching team, and you see everything. In that moment, you've seen everything that's wrong in the Russell Martin reign, mate. And they're culpable for it. Yeah, there's mistakes by the players. They don't get away scot-free. Bad throw for Tavernier. Chimitri, poor, mate. He's got to make sure he gets that in and garrers it. But the ball's got to get down the line. This modern trend, that when it comes inside and he loses it, they're right through in our goal. It's just mental the way we're set up, mate. Mental.
Mate, do you want to hit the nail on the head with it? Right? And you're 100% correct. It's about the manager and his tactics. because, and I'm not wanting to jump ahead because I know you want to talk about the first half, but just quickly, the transformation in the second half of the players, it was because it was panic stations. Because we were 2-0 down at half time. He just let them go free, basically. There was no structure because all the substitutes were getting chucked on, and you can see how much better they were playing. There was balls there at the top, down to Kisama and all the rest of it. And this is what I'm saying. See that first half? That's all the coaching staff. That's his coaching staff that's setting that up and causing their own problems, mate. Aye, there's individual mistakes in it, 100%. But, mate, he's actually showing us all what's gone wrong. And it's up to him to change it, mate. It's up to him to realise that these tactics are just not going to work. We're far too open in that midfield again. And like you say, Ascar's just non-existent. So we've got one...
I actually don't think Asgard was the worst tonight. I thought Ant-Man was even worse than Asgard, and that's doing something. Young Mahoma, mate, he's got a bit of pace. He's all right going forward. He doesn't read the game good defensively. You can see that he's a young boy learning his trade. So we've had chances and we could equalise. And big Dimitri hits the post. Dimitri, did I say that right now? The big he puts it off the bar, mate. He's unlucky, mate. He gets up well, and he actually showed that he's got that in his locker. I wasn't sure if he had it. Again, good play with the gas man. You know, he's my main damage. There's nothing coming for Ant-Man, nothing. And his awareness, his defensive awareness, there's nothing there at the moment. Yeah, maybe his confidence he'd come into this storm because that's what they've come into, mate. So, but then there's a free kick, a cheap one going away. They've got a set up. They've obviously watched this. We play with this high line. We've talked about it on the show a lot. If you do the same thing all the time and you set up, teams will be smarter than you, get the run on you. They've done something a bit different. The guy ran off Canabar and ran away with him. They knew to play it in his space and were set up's all wrong. Yeah, there's mistakes by Magoma and Barron, but the setup's all wrong. And the way we're set up on the pitch is totally wrong. And that's down to the coaching staff. And for that alone, they're due their jotters, mate. That we've been telling them. They've done it against Indeed. They've done it in every other game. They're trying to reinvent the wheel. You wouldn't set up an under 18 boys team like that to defend that situation. You go 5 yards further back, that pass can't happen, mate. It can't happen because of where it is in the park and where there's no that grass to run it. It's just shocking defended, shocking setup, shocking coaching, be a shocking coaching staff, and the guy leading it thinks he's reinventing the wheel. We can see it, mate. That's the first half. The second half, arguably, we could have went on and won the game. We had moments, we played some decent stuff. Even then, we made the wrong decisions. We didn't pass it at the right time. We scored a great goal, great pass by Raskin out to the gas man, and the gas man with a great finish. But then we're again playing with 9 men because Asgard was still a passenger for me. He done a couple of nice things and might move, but he still his decision making was poor. He had a chance to play in Gasman, plays the hard ball to the centre forward, and the moves broke down. And Majowski, you wouldn't have known he was on the pitch, mate. You wouldn't, for all the pressure we had in the second half, you would not known he was on the pitch. So there's 2 halves there, mate. We're playing with 9 men, and Aaron's, I didn't think he had a good game. I thought the guy who showed spirit, and we might have fun with left back, is Big Cornelius, and him and Gasman. That was the brightest spark, arguably, the season, mate.
Well, how many times did you see that Cornelius up near their goal, Ox? There was times where he was up there crossing the ball in. So again, he's wanting his backside off. Gasman is just eager, Ox. He's just eager to have the chances, and for some reason, we don't exploit it. But again, that comes down to individuals, Ox. We're relying on one player to carry us. We can't have that, and comes back to the manager again. He flings. I mean, we ended up seeing Danilo on. We've seen Chimete, Majowski. Still nothing, mate. Still no clear-cut chances for them to actually go and finish a ball. And if they did, a lot of it was very with Chimiti, one of his shots in goal, man, he had nobody run about him, and he basically just passed it to the keeper. We need better than that.
It was a poor effort. I mean, he had 4 opportunities tonight. The one he hit the bar for the header, the one he tried to click in for the front post, which he was unlucky. If it would have been a great goal. Then he had a difficult chance when he's played in. Again, the ball should have been played to Asgard. Went to him. I can't remember who passed that ball. I'm not sure. So then there's 3, and then he gets that one at Foster with the edge of the box. You're just waiting for him to build the net to bulge, you know. Look, mate, we should have lost that game. When we went 2-1 up, they were there for the taking. In fact, if we'd have got the second one, we could have went on and won the game, but we never. And there was positives to take out the way we played in the second half, but ultimately the positives are gone because we've lost the game 2-1, mate. And we've lost the game 2-1 because we can't defend. And we can't defend because we've got some bad defenders, inexperienced defenders, and we've also got we're coached badly. We're trying to reinvent the wheel of football and do things that I just can't believe I'm watching. Overcomplicating it, trying to change things that's been done, you know, for years, mate. There's no another team. I think McCoy said it on the telly. There's no another team that he knows with a set up that high. And all you're doing is giving people space to chip it in or pass it into to play behind you. Because you're facing the wrong line, you've got to turn and run, and people are getting a run on you. It's bizarrely mental, mate.
I'm
done ranting, mate. I'm done ranting.
No, mate. Yeah, everything you're saying is what we're seeing with our eyeballs tonight, mate. And what condemns it even more on Russell Martin, it's been a trend throughout the season. You've seen it with Motherwell, that you've got a new manager coming into Motherwell. He's had to get his players organised, and you can see they're organised and playing. And there's a night you've got a manager there who's only been a manager less than a year, Ox, and he's able to go out and organise that Sturm Graz team to play attacking football.
I thought they were as poor as us, mate. I didn't think they were a good side, mate. Yeah. And I might be wrong, and I know that mob across the city and they have the best of times, and long may it continue. But I would imagine they'll beat them at Parkhead, mate. I imagine they will. You know, they were poor. We, if Philip Clement, Giovanni Van Bronckhorst were still involved with our club, we'd be sitting with 6 points in Europe. We'd be sitting with 6 points in Europe. Anyway, we better get these phone lines open. Let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
So we'll be joined quickly by David. Evening, David.
All right, lads, how's it going?
All right, mate.
Not been on since last season. I couldn't go into that stream hanging on. I don't know what the hell I was doing wrong anyway. I'll talk about the night just in isolation, just quickly, because I'm on this mobile. It might cut a bit. Here is all right, aye.
Aye, carry on, mate.
Aye. I've got to say, I thought middle to front the night was probably, and it's not a high standard by the way, but it's without doubt for me our best performance tonight. I've got to say, players again taking the wrong pass. Adscart's turning back. You've got Ant-Man. It looked like one game he's played with Rangers looked a superstar against nobody's, let's be honest. He got the ball tonight once. He was isolated with a guy 1-on-1, and he decided to turn inside. He never took it on right away. The wee man out left, Gassama, he was getting the ball at the time. Folk were saying online, trying to keep giving the ball, get used to it. I says, well, we've not got used to it yet, so just keep giving it. See if they don't get used to it. When they get used to him, don't mix it up. He had that guy in toast all night. Miofsky that last game and all. I watched Miofsky at Livingston there, and I know people say about the partner. I thought Miofsky looked as if he was towing a caravan last week at Livingston. I watched him there the night again. He's not seen miles off it. He looked as sharp as attack, even against Celtic, and that was only just a couple of balls in behind. He looked miles off it tonight, and I didn't think the big boy. I know he's missed a few chances there. I didn't mind the big boy tonight, actually. He wasn't hiding. He was in a bit.
The only thing I will say, mate, is I think he should have come off, and I'll tell you why.
Aye.
Yeah, I think he'd run his race about 70 minutes.
Oh, I don't disagree with that, Ox. I really don't. But this is the manager again. Maybe, I mean, I've not been on here since he's been appointed. I mean, don't get me started him. It's finished for him. We completely finished, but we can't. We're still supporting Glasgow Rangers, you know what I mean? We still want to get victories at the end of the day. I hope you're asking. He was right on it again, Matt, second off and all. He was 50, he was crunching it to win. The wee boy Moore has been absolutely hopeless since he came to Rangers, but he's a 17-year-old, 18-year-old pup. He should be coming into Rangers side by experienced pros. They're chissed out. We've just take over, you know, plenty of money's been spent here. You know, taking a bit of pressure off a lad like Vladimir Dreiskop when he come up to Rangers. The wee boys, he's getting the ball. The night he played a bit better again. But it's no, you're not looking to boys like this. It's guys are looking to experience. I don't know. But if they go down,
is Moore any better than Curtis? What you've seen?
Well, I mean, we can't. I don't think he's anywhere near that. I mean, their Curtis has scored 3 goals for us, mate. And I don't care that Mikey Moore might have signed a 5-year contract with Spurs. I couldn't care less about Spurs. I'm not interested in with Spurs. I couldn't give a million. I couldn't care less if you don't win the Ballon d'Or. I'm interested in his at Ibrox. The wee boy Curtis has come on and influenced games more than him. I'm not putting on B. Moore, obviously, but I'm just getting about him right. Why is Finlay Curtis not getting a game at all? At all? He didn't get a sniff at all, the boy. And Asker looks a player. But see that? He can't be turning inside a wee and then switching off. And I hear you a minute ago, when we go at Barn, that even the pitch on the way you look, doesn't it look right? You're spot on, mate.
I mean, there's a lot wrong, mate, and obviously you're starting with the coaching, the setup, the selection. You know, I mean, arguably, went with a team that everybody ever picked. I would have went for it. I would have Ascard in the team at the moment, personally. I don't think he's done enough to earn the place, mate. He's got the odd flick, but so did the Farers playing against the sons in the school playground. You know what I mean? You've got the odd flick. You know what I mean?
It's that kind of. I think he's almost. I don't know if he's trying to play me a game. I'm sorry. And he's played players in a game. See, he's not playing well. Get him off. Well, last week, get him off. Don't start him. Don't guys that I'm playing well. You're not doing that. It's going on about the things that even tapping. Gary, the first thing tapping because he's not going to.
You're breaking up a wee bit.
Oh, sorry, lads. Listen, lads. I'll let you go.
Mm-hmm. All right, mate. By the way, get teams and come and join us, mate.
We'll miss you. No bother. Right, good to us.
Right, you take it easy, mate. You're breaking up.
Same yourself. Right, cheers. Bye. Bye.
Cheers. Pity that. David's always a good caller. Carry on, GB.
I know. Cheers, David, for phoning in, mate. Ox. I mean, plenty to pick for the game, and again, Ant-Man comes on his debut, has a fantastic debut. You're like, good. We've probably found somebody that's going to be able to.
No kick the boss since one we cut back on Sunday. That's it, mate. He's contributed nothing. I don't think he's had a shot at goal that I can remember. I think.
No, and even when he's taking on a guy now as well, I've noticed that at the weekend as well. He's got that kind of body language that he's thinking about it too much. And then the night as well, there's times he was like playing right back. I mean, he was practically sitting next to Butland at times. Where he's like, again, that comes back to me, Ox. Like, I'm a novice, but that comes back to the coaching for me. You've got to, if you've got to have back there with him, what's he doing back there? He
depends
should
what he's told to do. I don't think
that's what I'm saying. The coaching. That's why it's annoying.
If you go with his runners, if the fullbacks go forward, if you go with him, that's part of that position, mate. You know, and he's meant to have all his pace, but he's not switched on defensively, and that's maybe a weakness in the young Gasman. But at least he's producing in the final third, mate, and looks a threat, and causes teams worry about him. I mean, that man's just get. I mean, obviously he's been at the team as well. But he's every time you see him, he's regressing, no progressing, mate, you know. And I understand his confidence might be short because they've come into this storm, mate, and this team with no confidence and maybe no trust in their leadership. So I can understand it. He's only a young man. It affects people differently. But,
look what happened to him.
I don't want to throw him under the bus, but what I will say is his performances have been poor, mate.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Look, he came in raw into the team. he didn't even have time to understand any tactics. And look at the kind of performance he gave us, Ox, just within that first wee while. And then ever since then, since they've got a hold of him and they've had to play to this stupid structure that he's trying to implement, Ant-Man's became a worse player of the night. I mean, you've not seen any of the same runs that he done in that first debut. And I thought it's back in the manager, mate. Like I say, there's no way again, Asgard, that he can go in the international duty and do what he can do with that boy Haaland and then come back to Rangers and play as bad as what he's playing now.
No, I think we've been joined by Josh. Evening, Josh, again.
You all right,
mate? I've been better, mate.
Listen, as far as the second half goes there, I thought they played really well, but the damage was ultimately done again in that first half. I was saying, again before the game, a nice good start, organised, difficult to beat, and they were anything but, weren't they, in that first half? Like, the goals were schoolboy, weren't they, in terms of, like, especially the second one, switching off from the free kick, it's just played straight through your defence. And you're sort of giving yourself a mountain to climb in a game again. But I thought second half we saw hallmarks of what a Rangers team should be. They showed that fearlessness, they never say die attitude. They were creating chances, just couldn't quite put them in the net, could they? But yeah, they kept going again right to the very end. And from being 2-0 down, you could have seen a capitulation. I thought they showed all the right ethics in that second half. But ultimately, it's another defeat. Russell's won 5 out of 16, I've just seen. So for a Rangers manager, it's still an unacceptable record.
Remember, two of them at home in the League Cup, mate. And also against Panathinaikos, when we were really fortunate in the night, we won 2-0 at Ibrox, mate. They take that game out, mate, which we mugged them, mate. It's the stats don't lie. But the stats don't lie tonight because we had enough chances to win the game. We created enough. But as you say, Josh, a mountain to climb with the 2 goals we've gave away.
Yeah, it was shocking again, wasn't it? I mean, I used the word schoolboy. I think if you had Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck playing at centre-half, they could have done a little bit better for both of those goals. But I just think it's the way he sets them up, isn't it? I mean, the first couple of minutes, they were on the front foot, Rangers, and exactly the start you'd have wanted in that respect, getting on the front foot, trying to attack him. But then you're neglecting the most important part of the game, which is keeping the trap door shut away from home against a really tough opposition on a tough pitch, as we discussed before the game started. So yeah, like the words mountain to climb are definitely true, but there was good signs from Gassimer. I thought his touches, his ability to take people on one-on-one was fantastic. The goal was a bit of individual brilliance that sparked a little bit of a glimmer of hope for the side and brought him back into the game. So I thought Gassimer was my player of the match. I thought Shemiti was unlucky with his header, but in terms of some of his other finishes, I thought he was snatching at it. He looked a little bit short of confidence still, and like he hasn't had enough minutes yet. He's a little bit rusty. So yeah, those things combined, you could have maybe got something out of the game had you been a little bit more calm in front of the goal.
I know they missed a chance when the boy was passed right through. He sort of passed it back to Butland. And Butland's had a couple of good saves in the first half. There was one going across the goal, we done well. But at the death there, their goalies made a good save for Suter. But he shouldn't see the ball. The ball should end up in the back of the net. I think it was about the 92nd minute, mate. The net should have been rippling. Yeah, put it in the net.
100%. I mean, Jack's made 5 or 6 fantastic saves that have kept you in it. I spoke about Jack before. That's the importance of having a top goalkeeper, especially at the highest level like tonight, where you're going to be under pressure. You're going to face opportunities like that. I mean, yeah, the first goal, he probably saw it a little bit late, but he'll be disappointed with that, with his reactions for that first goal. But he more than made amends with some of them saves, because there's 5 or 6 there that they're absolutely world-class saves that have kept you in the tie. And it's given you the opportunity at the end to throw Jack up at the end, and try and have a go at pinching something, because the game would have been long out of sight without the experienced goalkeeper doing what he does best in a multitude of occasions.
Cheers, mate. We've also been joined by Mark. Evening, Mark.
How you doing, Ox? I'm going to talk to you about a Rangers manager here, Ox. A Rangers manager, right?
I'm available, Mark. I'm available.
A Rangers manager, right? Played 16, won 5, drawn 5, lost 6. Win percentage 31%, Ox. Is that a Rangers manager, Ox?
Can we take Allo out of that, mate, and then look at it?
No, mate. He just needs to take his full beating right now. This is not on Ox. It's so far past the pale. It's untrue. I heard you earlier in the week talking about when he needs to go, and we all sort of arrived at Falkirk was the right. Even like if he wins at Falkirk, fair enough. But we've seen enough Ox. This is not working. Not even one iota. There's shoots in there. That Gassama, to be fair, he's decent.
Mm-hmm.
Kermiti, not for me. You know, not for me at all. Not seen enough in the right winger either.
I'm going to throw Kermiti under the bus yet, mate. It doesn't look 100% fit, you know, and that's the problem. He's trying to get his fitness now well into the season whenever he's behind everybody, and obviously he's a big unit. I mean, he could have scored tonight. He was unlucky with his header and he got involved. That's the first time he's had 4 chances tonight for me. 4 chances. Would you agree, GB? He had 4 chances, yeah? I don't think we've had 4 chances in the game the rest of the season, GB.
No Ox. And his first, that header, I thought he was burying it, actually. And it's something we've not seen for a striker that in a long time. So the boy's got that in his locker, Ox. But again, see when you're up against it, Ox, as a manager, do you put on your novice guy, or do you go with your experience? I mean,
I watched him in the off screen tonight, mate. David talked about him. I think you wouldn't have known he was on the pitch the second half, mate. I remember him touching the ball down in the corner flag when at the start of the second half, and I can't remember him touching the ball apart from a header in the halfway line when we were trying to head it instead of getting it down and passing it wide. You know, so that performance was poor. But Dimitri, look, I get your point so far, but let's wait and see where that develops. But at the moment, he's not scored a goal, mate. So centre forwards mark are judged on goals, and you know, and plus his big price tag for Scottish football, he will be under pressure if you don't score goals, and so will the people that signed him. But what we need is a new head of scouting to come in and sort all that out, Mark.
Jobs for the boys, Ox. Jobs for the boys. Literally, the boy. Unfortunately, I don't know what's happening. Honestly, Ox, it's worrying. The whole thing is worrying. This is not acceptable. This is not Rangers standards. Not one bit of this is right, and we all know it. None of this is right.
I'm struggling to put up an argument, mate. Yeah.
Aye, Ox. This is so bad. It's so bad right now. It needs reset again, and we had such a good opportunity with the 49ers coming in to put in a proper reset. And honestly, I think it's got worse. I genuinely do.
Listen, we were a better team under Philip Common, and there was problems with that. You know, you've heard the stats about 22 games since we kept a clean sheet away from home. Yeah, I mean, that covers Barry's time. It covers, you know, Russell's time. I mean, what have we had? 4 European ties away from home, 3 away from home. Let me think. Pilsner.
It's not Ox. It's spiraling. That's the problem. It's literally spiraling now. They need to put Martin after Falkirk. If we don't do that and we just keep going on down this cycle, it is not good. We'll slightly creep up the table, but it's not in a good trajectory. That team, like that Stevie Clifford said it, like it doesn't look coached. None of this is right. We've seen it. It's slack defending. You know, all the good Rangers teams play out from the back and set up right in defence and put a structure in place that impose on teams and ultimately break them down and win. None of that is there. None of that is there. It is blatantly clear. This is broken. And Russell's not the guy to put that in place. Like, his philosophy is all-out attack. And you've seen it tonight. He was just thrown, like Butland was up at a corner kick and things like that. It is so bad. We honestly
I don't mind that. It'd be fair, mate.
No, we honestly do. Ox. Aye, you know, no, but aye, we're chasing it. But we're chasing Ox. It's because the structure's not in there to impose ourselves from the front foot. It's
Well, the structure being is when you're defending, you defend, and when you're taking a throw on 20 yards for your own goal, you're in a defensive situation.
the whole team should have been up 30 yards, Ox. The whole team, the whole back line should have been in line with Tav, and we should have thrown the ball 30 yards up the field.
Down the line.
Aye. But the whole back line was at the 6-yard box. Suter was at the 6-yard box when that throw-in was taken, and then their striker was ahead of Chumike.
The tactic is that you get the ball and you keep the ball, mate, and you pass the ball across your goal and you pass it, mate, and then when you what they done was the guy went forward to Suter, so Tav can't throw it to Suter. But two midfielders, if you watch it back, Mark, but two midfielders come close to Tav, they're closed out, so there's no throw-in, and that can happen. So if you've not got a throw-in, you go as far away from your own goal and don't put your team under pressure. Now, we know Tav can throw it, because all of a sudden we've seen him at times do long throws. The boy comes, throws, it's played into him, he doesn't take it in. Because we're so wide apart, they play it into a space, 20 yards for the own goal, and the guy's through and goal. We've not got a centre-half within 10 yards yet.
Well, again, on that one play, we were completely unstructured. Like, Suter was at the 6-yard box, Chumike was at the halfway line and missed the ball entirely. It's just the whole thing's a shambles.
Suter was down near enough the corner flag for
Tav the corner flag,
it.
Aye.
So when he
that's what I'm saying,
get
he's playing everybody on.
But obviously, but when he doesn't get it, he's about 50 yards out of position, mate.
Aye, that's what I'm saying. Everyone basically should have been in line with Tav, and then threw the ball 30 yards upfield. And honestly, that's not my problem, Ox. My problem's the whole shebang, to be honest with you. It's, you look at it, we're just top to bottom. This is getting worse. It's literally, we should have had a reset, and we should have been better going into this season. We're 8th in the league right now. We've just been beat twice in the trot in Europe with teams we probably would have beat in previous seasons. And we're employing Felwell's boy as head of recruitment. Tell me that's good.
GB.
Mark, I'm in your boat, mate. It's no good. And like you say, it's job to the boys. Like the whole thing. Do you know something? Everything's come back to bite folk in the backside with their words. They said, right, Russell Martin will run harder, run faster. Big Prague, when he was doing his speech to the Rangers fans in the annual general meeting, saying that they'll bring in the best in each area and the drivers forward and all the rest of it. I've not seen any of that yet. And then, to be fair to Farewell, he obviously came with pedigree for Everton, but see the appointments that's just happened recently, you're like, well, you try to tell me that a young boy from Norwich is going to be leading our scouting department and he's better than what's out there in the world? No chance. It's like cheap options, and this is a concern, and that's also a topic for the other night. But where I'm not letting the manager after the night as well is he'll jump on this second half performance. He'll say, "Oh, we improved. They listened to me and all that." No. You know what happened in the second half? The handbrake was taken off. The boys were told, go out and try and win back the game for me, because he knew the writing was probably on the wall. And it was showed. As soon as they were allowed to just play how they wanted to play, there was a chance created within 5 minutes, and Gassama took it on himself, no structure, and just battered it in the back of the net. And that's how it continued. The corners were just blasted in, headers were just going everywhere, and we were just trying to snatch the chances.
Listen, as far as the corners and the free kicks, I thought Tav's delivery tonight was awful. Awful.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know what you thought, Matt.
I don't know. Like, that's honestly our whole game these days is corners and free kicks. We're scoring nothing from open play. That's honestly probably the bigger problem. Apart from Gassama. Like, Gassama terrorises everybody. He is a talent, that boy. He is very, very good. Like, he turns them inside and out. You watch him on the wing, but apart from that, there's you get the ball to Gassama and you create something. If you don't get the ball to Gassama, you create nothing. That Asgard's rubbish. That Ant-Man, seen nothing from him. He's tucked in. Like, that first game he was in the right wing, he's tucked in so inside and so far back. again, I don't see nothing in that committee. I think Miovski is a player, to be fair. I just think he needs a bit more game time. I think he'll get back to probably where he was at Aberdeen. But nah, I'm just struggling with the whole thing. I honestly think we've signed down, and that's the problem. Like, Gassama apart, we've signed down. Gassama and Butland are the only two good players in that team. Raskin as well, probably.
Raskin had a decent centre half, but I didn't think he was great in the first half. He grew into the game as the game went on. He still, what he's never been good at, that final pass. There was one when he played, I think he had not an easy pass, but there was a reasonable, simple pass to slide down Gassman, and he puts too much weight in it and passes out the pitch. But that's always something a flaw in Nico's game. Somebody could work on and improve. Yeah, because he does a lot of good stuff. But at times, young Barron, he works hard, but he gets brushed aside. And if you watch the goal back, Martin, I don't know if you watched it, the guy just, he runs away from him, steps in front of him, and runs from him. And you see his lack of physicality, and he just runs away from him. With the goal, with the one for the free kick. Barron's at fault for letting his runner go, but the setup is just criminal, mate. Criminal. There's P45 for me just for that setup. We've talked about one here since we've seen it. This high line will get punished. Teams will work you out. They'll see how you set up. Their coaches looked at the videos and went, "Oh, they all stand here. There's a wee move on here." But probably better coaching for them. Knowing what the opposition done and had a plan to do it when they get the opportunity, took it. Yeah, but we don't think of our feet and we don't set up right. We drop 5 yards, mate. That can never happen. Never happen.
No, I think we've all just got to be careful we don't let our standards slip here. That's the problem we've got, is the Union Bears are 100% right. They need to every single... I'm not going to take a yellow card here, you'll be pleased to hear, Rox, but Russell Martin, GTF, they just need to keep that going at Falkirk, because unless we get a change and a reset here, we're at risk of going further behind. I'm just... everything's red flags everywhere, Rox. I tell you, on the pitch, off the pitch, it's not good.
See if you believe that Russell should go, and I'm not disagreeing with you. What's the point of waiting till after the Falkirk game?
It's just a natural break, that's all it is. It's just because it's an international break.
If you think he's part of the problem, and I'm saying if you were involved with the club, if you think he's a problem and it's not going to improve for Falkirk, why would you wait till Sunday night?
Personally, Ox, I would have got rid of him after the Old Firm game back in September. But I honestly felt I seen enough at Bruges. Honestly, I wanted to give him a chance. I remember coming on once here with old Davey, and we were saying, like, the boy won, lay off him. You boys were all going on thick. And I know I'm going on thick tonight, but I've seen enough, Ox. I've absolutely seen enough now.
Yeah, well,
like I would have plotted him after the Old Firm game in September, and then at that international break brought in someone new, and I've had to go through 4 more games now, or however many it's been, and I'll go through the Falkirk game, and it is not improving, and we've all got to make sure we raise the bar now. Like, this is not good.
My concern started the Bruges game at Ibrox, mate. The friendly one. No the European time. Aye.
I was at least giving him the benefit of the doubt back then, Ox, to be fair. I'd pretty much gave him to the first proper Bruges game, the one when we get beat. Not the embarrassing one, but the one that we almost came back 3-2. So the 3-1 game. But yeah, he's got to go now, man.
His best 2 performances arguably have been the second half against Bruges and the second half the night. But we've ultimately lost the games 5-2. We were 5-0 down at one time, 3-0 down against Bruges and 2-0 again against this mob. And you're trying to look for positives. Now, I thought we played all right second half, and I'm saying we get a second goal, we can go and win this. That was what was going through my head, but even 10 minutes to go, come on, get a second goal and we can win this.
I honestly thought we'd draw tonight, Ox.
Aye. But the fact is, I'm thinking that, hoping we get it, but we never. And it doesn't matter if you play really well or you do all right or whatever. Well, I'm not saying we played really well. We done all right in the second half against a team that I thought weren't great. But we didn't win. So that's the story. And Mark starts when he come on. They don't lie.
Do you want me to repeat the marks?
No.
16 played, 5 won, 5 drawn, 6 lost. Not good enough, Ox. 20 scored, 23 conceded, win percentage 31%. That's a Rangers manager.
If you take the League Cup out of that, mate, the stats become a lot worse. If you just take the league in Europe, mate.
Mate, you got
That's 6 of your goals you take out, mate. Yeah. And obviously 2-year wins. You know, but there you go. GB.
It's not good reading, Ox, and he keeps using this excuse that that there's been a lot of change and all the rest of it. All you need to do, Ox, is just look across the follow league and other managers that he's gone up against, especially, again, I'll go hark back to the night, mate. Gone up against a manager that's not even been a manager a year. Like, and the guy's competing with him. You know what I mean? So it's just not a good fit, Ox. It's done. And if they honestly think they're going to run with this for a season, then I'm telling you, they think the crowd sizes are low now. Wait till it gets to Christmas and into the colder weather and all the rest of it. Like I says, it's no good, Ox. And to be honest, for all the stuff that you're seeing with how the fans are reacting to him and stuff like that, it's no good for him either, mate. Coming to your work like that all the time can't be good. The owners have got a duty of care to their employees to come in and say, no, we need to protect you by actually sacking you. So I don't know where they go for here. Like you say, if it's time to get them sacked, do it now. No point waiting to Sunday. You know what I mean? But they probably will. They'll allow it to run to Sunday, and then they'll have this big wait, and then they'll bring them back, and they'll keep lumping on, because what will end up happening is we've got away with it tonight with Butland, keeping the back door shut.
I'm reading there's a lot of people, I'd need to see it back again, there's a lot of people blaming, thinking he should have done a lot better with the first goal, but I need to see it back, and obviously I've seen it hit his tie, but I don't know if he was going the other way and he's not been able to get his feet back. But look, even if that was his fault, and it's a big moment of the game, but Jack Butland's no a major part of our problems, GB, compared to others.
No, he's not. He's been the shining kind of light this season, considering we thought he was going to get sold in the summer. So again, he's getting, like, I mean, we're another bruised result away, Hawks. It's coming in the corner again. There's got to be somebody that's going to give us a tanking, or it's going to be in the league that some mediocre team's going to beat us like 2-0, 3-0, and it's going to send folk over the edge, you know what I mean?
Well, what clean sheets have we kept? Hibs at Ibrox. Even them, it was a big VAR decision.
Aye, that would have turned.
Aye.
Mm-hmm.
Aye.
100%.
You know, so we're giving up too many chances, and up until the night, we weren't creating, and we created enough a night, Mark, if you're honest. Mark, then we'll bring back Josh. He's listening to us. Mark, you with us?
Aye, sorry, just getting off mute there. I was just going to say, like, if you look at the fixtures still to come, so it's Roma. So we've got Bran, Roma, and Braga, who just beat Celtic tonight. So, I mean, it doesn't get any easier. That's the problem we've got. The basics aren't there. Like, in terms of dominating football and everything Russell Martin promised, he's a charlatan. The man is a charlatan. And it brings into question Thelwell and Stewart appointing this guy. We honestly need someone that's going to put dominant football back in place. We need to just pull the trigger after Falkirk. If we don't do that, we're in serious trouble, because we're going to get the same for the next 3 months or however long Russell remains in post. It's honestly such big trouble here. I'm
I get your concerns,
40-year-old. I've watched Rangers 30-odd years. And this is as bad. And the problem I've got is, see the guy, he seems to be getting top cover. Like that, what's his name, Kavanagh? That Kavanagh seems to be top cover for Stewart to top cover to Thelwell, to Thelwell's boy to Martin. That's my problem right now. Are they? Is this acceptable, or is it not?
And here's one, and there's somebody can maybe, is there maybe too many Evertonians involved who haven't got the winning mentality to do it with a club, but winning's everything. Does that make sense, Josh? And I'm not having a go at your club. I'm an ex-Evertonians, yeah, who have been firefighting for a few years at the bottom end of the, and it's different pressures, so they've under-egged the booking and they've got themselves under pressure.
Yeah, maybe they don't understand the expectation, but the wider point I want to make here is, go back to Philippe Coman's time, what was the problem? They were conceding too many goals. Even the Barry Ferguson era, they were drawing a lot of 3-3s and 2-2s and things like that. So this thing about conceding poor goals isn't a new thing. But I think from a stylistic point of view, it looks worse because of the style that we're trying to play under Russell. So if they are going to make the change, they have to be careful that they don't go for another manager that's going to promote this style or concede a lot of goals or whatever you want it. I personally believe it needs to stop that manager to the end of the season. Show him a bit of experience to go in there and prioritise winning games at all costs. You sacrifice your style and your substance a lot, just for the benefit of getting results. So it might be a bit of long ball. It might be a bit of being compact and difficult to break down in the big games. Yeah, I was going to mention the likes of Shaw.
By the way, people.
Another one for the boys. Another one for the Everton boys.
Yeah, but the wider point is that they're going through so many managers and they're getting the same results of conceding too many poor goals and losing games you shouldn't be losing. So why not go for a complete different style just till the end of the season? Someone's come in and put a plaster on it.
Josh, but he's still going to have a 19-year-old who looks as if he's learning his trade. He's decent going forward, and you can see he's got attributes he's getting, but he can't lead the game defensively. We brought a guy in for Wolves on loan who, when I first seen him, I went, wow, this could be an asset because he's really pacey and powerful and he's short. So we were going to base our defensive setup, Scottish football, and two guys that average about 20 years of age who have played very few games of football at pro level. We've then brought in a guy for Peterborough, who's his physique, his size. You think, wow, he's got everything you've got to offer. He's disappeared, totally disappeared, and doesn't even get mentioned in the squad now. It looks miles away from it, but he's really young and not played a lot of football at any decent level. I'm not saying Peterborough's a bad level, but a decent level. He's coming into Scottish football and it's on the dark arts and you don't get the time and people are nudging you, shutting you. And then he's been asked to play this kamikaze defending where you push up as high as you can and then one ball beats you as we saw at Suburban when we lost the goal and he's disappeared. There's three. And that might not be down to Russell Martin because he might be left with the tools because of the recruitment. GB, you know where I'm going with this.
It's above, but then he's cementing his place. If it's farewell, Ox you're talking about, he's cementing himself in Rangers now with bringing his boy in. So it's like the Trojan horse scenario. You're bringing everybody in, the Wolves are in, and the next minute you can't get rid of them. They've got to eat everybody. I mean, I like. There's been that kind of thinking knocks that's starting to creep into the Rangers fans. Is that it's like this kind of Trojan horse. We're bringing in folk that we don't really want round about the club. That's got to actually affect us trying to get back on our feet. And I think you made a good point actually in the first part of the show, Ox. See when you look around like the 49ers consortiums, like Leeds and like the Red Bull and all the rest, they're all mid-table teams. I mean, you've got Leeds in the Premier League, but again, like they say, they're not going to reach the heights they win in the Premier League unless they spend some serious dough. So, what were they expecting just to come into Rangers and date the cheap?
You've got to get the recruitment right, Josh, yeah? Then Mark.
Here, Ox, can I just jump in though? Like, I remember 1999, right? Walter Smith left Rangers. He went down to the Prem with Everton. He took in Duncan, Big Dunk Ferguson. He took in Goffey, went there at 38. He took Alec Cleland he took Gaza at 38 and he kept Everton up, right? That was a Rangers team that was winning the SPL 4 years previous to that, basically. The levels aren't there. Like, see if we think that works in reverse, it really doesn't. That does not win the SPL. Like, an Everton kind of bottom of the half of the Premiership does not get close to winning the SPL. We need better players than this, Ox. And definitely if you're going into the Championship, which we're doing with Leeds players, and going into League One, that with Peterborough players, it definitely does not win. And Luton Town and whoever else, we need to be a level above that. It's not going to work. If that's the recruitment strategy for the next X amount of years, we're setting ourselves up for failure.
It's all right signing players for Everton, mate, but you're not, well, let's be honest, the boy we signed was a project to Everton. Yeah, and you're paying that money because he's with the Premier League.
£8 million quid.
Yeah, I know.
A boy that's not scored in 3 years, Ox.
I know GB scores more often than he does, but I think there's something there, bizarrely. Josh, and we're not having a go at Everton, mate. We're having a go at our recruitment.
But we don't want Everton rejects. That's the problem.
Really disagree.
We don't want Everton rejects.
Listen. There's obviously if you can get people in the right fit, but we're saying that another. If you throw in the defence I've talked about with very little experience, then we've signed a centre forward who's hardly played 90 minutes, and I mean in every game, a whole game, in the professional game, and we've signed them for millions of quid. I mean, you must have been delighted with that one, Josh.
Well, yeah, just going back to the pre-show though, I was saying about bringing the young Rangers lads through the system. So if you look at that, there you've got 3 inexperienced defenders that you've brought in and paid money for from other clubs. Who's to say that there isn't 3 knocking about in the Rangers academy system that aren't up to that level? Do you know what I mean? Because they're not being given the opportunities. Like, they'd rather panic buy and look for the so-called finished article all the time. That's the point I'm making. Exactly the same at Everton. Like, we haven't give enough of the academy system an opportunity. And it works higher up. Like, look at Liverpool over the other side of our city. They give Alexander Arnold his opportunity. He was there for about 10 years, performing to the highest of the high level. You've got Curtis Jones, who plays week in, week out. You've got Conor Bradley. The list rolls on. And then you look at Everton and you look at Rangers and you think, who are actually the players that are coming through? I know you've mentioned Finlay Curtis, and he has been one of the bright sparks, but you need more than that.
Not getting a sniff, mate.
Who?
He's not getting a sniff, Finlay Curtis.
Who? Like, Finlay should be fucking starting every game.
Oh,
sorry,
man,
apologies. Yellow card. I'm getting annoyed now.
I wouldn't say that he should be starting every game, but what I will say, he's ahead on form.
The Ant-Man. He's ahead of Ant-Man for me. He's ahead of Ant-Man, and he's ahead of the Tottenham boy.
Anyway, look, another bad night in the office with some positives, the second half performance, but ultimately it doesn't matter. You can play great for 80 minutes. If you lose, GB. Yeah, if you're playing well and it's in a running sequence, you'll say, well, we're unlucky, we should have won the game. But when you're not playing well and you do all right, it doesn't matter, mate. It's all about winning. So last word for your good self, Josh.
I thought there was plenty to take from the second half, but exactly like you said, they gave themselves, again, I'm going to use the metaphor, the mountain to climb, by the shambolic schoolboy defending. I used Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck as an analogy. That's being kind. I thought the first 2 goals were a disgrace, and I think when you're going away from home in Europe, you need to be more compact than that. Like, they offered enough going forward again. It was like a mirror of the last week's game, I thought. Like, they had more than enough chances to be competitive in the game, and they obviously took one of them with a world-class bit of individual brilliance from Gassama. But the first half did the damage, and it doesn't matter what Russell said at half-time. It doesn't matter what reaction he got. It's a results-driven business. 5 wins from 16 games. It's not like we're talking about a small sample size now. We're talking about 16 games in a Rangers position. Ange Postecoglou at Forest is already under pressure after a handful of games. So that maybe says that people that are calling for him to be given more time and this and that, and they want to show sympathy towards him. It's well outdated. like we're nearly a third of the way through the games. Like 16 games is a lot of games to judge a manager on. And I have been patient with him. I've tried to give him little bits of positivity and tried to give him the benefit of the doubt. The only thing that I disagree with is the out-and-out abuse that he's been getting, especially from families that are encouraging young kids to stick fingers up at him and all the rest of it. Like, the guy is a human being. Like whether we agree with his
You don't know
football
what
or
it means
not.
to Glasgow. They don't need any encouragement for their families, mate.
He's a human being, no support I'm making. But yeah, if he hasn't gone by the Falkirk game or after it, I'll be very, very, very surprised by that. He's a dead man walking, isn't he, in terms of the job?
Yeah. He's actually starting to cost our club, between him and their decision making, he's actually costing our club millions, and that's starting to worry me. Mark?
I won't take any lectures from hearing how Rangers should play in Europe from an Everton fan. Everton haven't been in Europe for 50 years. And Rangers, the standards...
I don't know if that's quite true, is it?
The standards we've got, Ox, we should be better than where we're at. It's we've got to be really careful we don't allow this to become the norm, because see if Thelwell and Patrick Stewart think this is acceptable. It's no, Ox. None of this is acceptable.
Just before you go, mate, I think David Moyes took Everton into the Champions League. Am I right, Josh?
He took us into the Champions League qualifiers and also to the UEFA Cup quarter final in 2008. But yeah, I understand the point he's making though. Like, we haven't been in the actual group stage of the European tournament for quite a long time. Like the big one, the European Cup and things like that. So yeah, I understand what he's saying. Like, you're one of the big two in your league. We're not. Like, we're living somewhat in the shadow of Liverpool. But I can only comment on what I see. Like, I watch the games with an objective viewpoint and quite a balanced and neutral viewpoint, I'd like to think. But people can disagree. They've got a right to. It's an open forum. This, like, as long as it don't get personal, I don't mind.
Nah, my point is we need to make sure that we don't let our standards diminish. Right, Rangers. Like, I remember beating League 1993. We've been in 2 UEFA Cup finals.
Come on, did you say beating
2008
Leeds
and
1993, Mark?
Aye. So that's what.
Come on, mate. It was 1992.
Oh, 1992. Yeah, I got close. But we need to make sure we're not letting the standards diminish here, right? We get into serious competition. This team is not capable of doing that. This management is not capable of doing that. And we need to make sure we call that. We need to call that out now, Ox. Right? We're all seeing it with our eyes. We need to call that out now. It is not good enough. And
it's going to be interesting how it pans. It's going to be interesting how it pans out, mate. But watch this space. Look, great to hear from you. And I would love to chat to you all night, but that Fox doesn't give me a GB overtime. Don't be a stranger, Matt. Good to hear from you, mate. Well, points well made, yeah?
So, mate.
All right, GB.
Iox, and cheers to the boys for phoning in as well, helping us with the show in the second part there, mate. Another disappointing night. I'm giving the manager no credit for that second half performance. It's all the credit goes to the players for trying to get the game back, mate. And I'll catch you up next week.
Yes, mate, yes. Listen, thanks to Josh and Mark for joining us. Of course, David, great to hear from David. We've not heard from David for a while. Always a good caller. Thanks to Fox and Old School Blue for doing the technicals. This has been Rangers Radio. We'll be back tomorrow night talking about all things Rangers. And of course, to cheer you up, we'll have the Southside Super 6. Thanks for listening. Take it away, Old School Blue.